Futures looks like it's still in the process of rejecting its high on the uptrend that began today. So far, going pretty strong. We had a solid run of the entire day without a red candle. Going into Monday, we have more bullish support and more out of the money calls. So it looks like so far Monday is probably going to be pretty decent before we go into any major news, which I guess is going to be the Powell speech testimony to the House Financial Services Committee on Tuesday. Dollar down today from its recent high at like 104.15. Yields pulling back pretty hard. A little below the prior low that we saw on Feb 26, but not very much. Core 3 and 1 month down real hard today, alongside indexes being up. So lots of vol shorting. Forward yield on volatility is still roughly in the same range, around -6%. But the yield curve pulled back a little bit. Carry trade is starting to slump, despite the dollar being up against the yen. Move probably isn't updated yet. Skew went up again yesterday, which we expected. -42.03 to end the week. Correlation between VIX futures and cash VIX. That's still breaking down, despite our larger move up. And I believe after today we're pricing in 0.79 rate cuts for 20 or 0.79 points in rate cuts for 2024. So slightly increased expectations despite today's weak-ish manufacturing data. That puts us ending the week at 51.3707. Oh, I did make money. Cool. All right, well, I mean, I wish I made more when I closed the spreads, but whatever. Still very close to VN on the monthly contract and GM. Closing above Vega neutral on the weekly contracts. Still under Gamma Max. But yeah, we're still stuck in that range where upward progress is substantially hampered by the fact that put selling pushes the MM long. And if we go above Vega neutral on the monthly contract, which shouldn't happen, or it shouldn't, well, if it does, it should immediately reverse. It's never happened before in the 2.5 years that we've been tracking this, but should it happen, the MM would go long Vega across the entirety of the SPX chain. I picked up some debit spreads on Beyond for Monday. It looks like they started covering a little bit again into the end of the day, and the short broke down, but not very much. It is holding this upper trend, which is something I'm keeping an eye on. But yeah, this is kind of my entry range for longer dated positions. If we drop below that, I probably would have picked up something like 30, 40 DTE, 45. But I'm still waiting because, you know, with the forced covering, as long as they can get the forced covering out of the way and they have some dropping indexes, then they could really get the price down substantially where they need it, which is down here. Under where they sold all their calls short. If this goes on long enough, you know, and those calls stay underwater, then those calls could start squeezing. And if those calls start squeezing, you kind of end up in a situation like you did on GME, where you know, short vol is squeezing out while it's on reg show, and there's no liquidity, right? And so you end up getting a lot of liquidity generation through the market maker, which pushes the MM long the underlying, and then yeah, you could get so still in a very interesting spot, but we'll definitely have to see how it plays out. I don't think there's enough bulls on Beyond for it to like actually squeeze, right? Like the guys who are short and vol have more than enough money to keep shit contained. But it does mean that, you know, they will need liquidity during the forced covering period, and they will have to push the MM a little bit long in order to get that liquidity, and that's where the price improvement comes from. Anyway, members only stream this Sunday, 12:30 p.m. It'll be open to anybody who wants to tune in, and thank you guys so much. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will see you Sunday morning. Later, guys.